moving forward, the Seahawks. And I thought this was significant and also maybe inadvertently downplayed by Ben Fisher of Sports Business Journal. The Seahawks are going to be for sale. And Fisher has a newsletter that comes out on Thursday nights during the season, and he said that they have an investment banking firm and a law firm already hired. You don't do that unless you have something for them to do. You don't put them on retainer, literally. You're not retaining them. You're not just saying, go sit over there and await further instructions. You don't hire people to do these things unless you have something for them to do. So this gets back to the whole $5 million fine as reported by the Wall Street Journal for noncompliance with the league's ownership requirements, and then the league insisting there was no fine. Well, there was no fine because the fine is being held in abeyance with the understanding the Seahawks are going to sell the team. This thing's getting sold, and it's moving in that direction. And this is a turnkey operation, baby. This isn't a fixer-upper. You've got a Super Bowl champion. You don't have to do anything except go sit in the suite. You got to figure out where your parking place is and where your private elevator to your suite is. That's all you have to do because this thing is good to go.
Hey, and Mike, even if you're in the market, the NFL market, what are the fixer-uppers? Because even the fixer-uppers are valuable. I don't think there's a bad purchase to be made when you're talking about NFL teams. And it's increasingly for the ultra rich. There are some people who are fabulously wealthy, and they look at the price tag for some of these teams and say, oh, I can't afford that, and I can't get a group of people together who can afford that. So I can imagine, yes, the team is going to be sold. And I do think the NFL, for obvious reasons, the NFL is motivated to see Seattle sell because the numbers keep going through the roof. We saw what the Commanders brought, what that number was. We saw what the number was for the Broncos before that. So what do you think the number is going to be for the Seahawks? It's not going to go down. The number keeps going up. So I think the league is motivated to get this done and bring in more ultra-rich people into their exclusive club.
The Commanders in 2023 went for $6.05 billion. That's the record, and that's a fixer-upper. The Commanders were the ultimate fixer-upper. They're still playing in a stadium that literally needs some fixering and uppering, especially as it relates to the fact that raw sewage once flowed upon the fans accumulated there. So I remember when Jeff Bezos was speculated to be a potential buyer. Yeah, that's right. That wall fell down. Just ridiculous. So Jeff Bezos was one of the potential buyers, people thought, for the Commanders. And I remember reporting that Dan Snyder didn't want to sell it to Jeff Bezos. And look, I remember saying at some point in 2023, why does Bezos want to buy this team that needs a lot of work when the Seahawks are eventually going to be for sale? Now, the belief, as I understand it, is Bezos isn't going to be in play for the Seahawks because he has relocated to Miami, just like Tom Brady. Maybe they'll buy the Dolphins together from Stephen Ross. I'm kidding, I think. But he had 30 years in Seattle. The thinking is it's going to be, and this is what I was told last week, and I mentioned this on the Super Bowl pregame show, there's some really rich guy out there, or gal. We don't know who they are, but they're out there, and they're going to emerge with a gigantic bag of cash, and they're going to be the high bidder, and they're going to buy the Seattle Seahawks. And we'll all find out then. And that's when someone who had previously been an anonymous multi-billionaire is going to become anything but, proving yet again the adage that I was told years ago, and it's one of the truest things that I've ever heard. The only thing better than being rich and famous is being rich. And you find that out if you're Stephen Ross. You find that out if you're Jimmy Haslam. You find that out if you're Daniel Snyder. You find that out if you're any of these otherwise previously anonymous multi-billionaires who end up buying a team and become hated by strangers.
Yeah, they're in a good situation. Whoever that buyer is in a good situation. And Seahawks fans, if we look back at it now, all the things that they may have been a little insecure about heading into the Super Bowl are irrelevant. Oh, will Clint Kubiak be distracted? No, no. And if he was distracted, it didn't matter in the Super Bowl. Hey, this story got out before the Super Bowl. Is this going to be a distraction? Story got out before the Super Bowl. It's not a distraction. You've got a great young coach. You've got a great defense. So whoever the owner is, just hope the owner is not someone like who is hated in Seattle. Somebody like Howard Schultz, who we know sold the Supersonics to Clay Bennett, and Clay Bennett said, "Oh, thanks a lot. I'll take this team to Oklahoma City," and there go your Supersonics. But as long as that person understands the history of Seattle and what the Seahawks mean to the area, and you don't put the clamps on the budget, you should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that process is going to start moving, and there will be a new owner, and we'll see. We'll see if the new owner lets things stay as they are or feels compelled to try to tinker with things, because right now the Seahawks have things going extremely well, and the last thing a new owner should do is consider bringing in his or her own people to run the team. The team is running itself just fine, as evidenced by the latest Lombardi Trophy. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.